And welcome! This is the Revanchisms tutorial. Today we will actually be talking about how to make a working gate. A friend of mine was asking, they really need to put in gates in this game. Well, I said, well, they have them. So my challenge was to make the biggest gate I could and still have it work. And this is what I've come up with. One button to close, and one button to open. And it's a 3-block high gate. It's 15 wide, and we'll get into the more specific dimensions in just a second. So, on to how do I build this? Well, we start with pistons. Yes, beautiful, lovely pistons. On the bottom, we'll have this row and this row of both sticky pistons. And then this piston is a standard piston and 3 pieces of gravel. Now on top of that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fence posts, and then a normal piston, sticky piston, and another sticky piston. Now to aid in placing of these, make sure there's a row of stone, or whatever you're trying to build with, on top of it. So all things considered, you have first 2 rows of sticky pistons, and then whatever piston's going to touch what you're moving is standard. And then you have whatever size opening you want. It's easier with 2, but this challenge was to make one that looked nice, and I know my friend likes to do things a little bigger than just 2, so this one's 3. Now, the reason why we have only this number of fences is because if we go 1 fence taller, the game won't like it, and the pistons will have trouble moving them, and they'll literally start breaking blocks, and they'll break your machine. So, once again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fence posts, and that's the most you can do. Then you have, once again, the piston that's touching what you want to move is standard, and then the other 2 pistons are sticky. Moving right along, each of those pistons needs to have redstone power. So here, we're sending the redstone signal into the block above the piston, because what this actually does is the signal goes into this block and the block below it. And I'll explain that again in just a little bit. We only want it to go into this one and not affect this. This will push this down one, which will line it up for this row, which then will send this one farther down, which will line it up with this to push yet a 3rd time. So it'll push down, which will push down, which will push down. Here, because the redstone is going into this block and this block, we're having it only go into the top one, and then this will push this up, which will line this up, which will push this up 2 blocks, 1, 2, which will line it up for this, which will push it up again. Now, the reason why we're using repeaters instead of redstone is just redstone won't send the signal into the blocks. You would literally have to send it like this, into this block. But because we're going to be running it like this, or at best case scenario, we would be running it like, let me get rid of that for just a second. We'd be running it like this, it's still not going to connect. It would literally have to go into it like that. Now to actually fix this problem, we're using the repeaters to send it directly in. Kind of like we're angling it. As you can see here, they are connecting onto the redstone, and then these repeaters are going to go straight into the blocks. And we're doing the same thing here, and the same thing down here. Now, we've done all the hard part. Believe it or not, that was the hard part. This part's all math. So if you like math, you're good at math, this will be easy for you. If you're not, bear with me, it's very simple. When we are pushing down the first set of repeaters, it can't, well, okay, 1 second. Let me go back over here to explain it a little bit better. These pistons cannot extend if, no, let me rephrase that. Basically, if this piston is extended, this one will not push this. If this one is extended, this one will not push this. So to get all three to extend, this needs to push this first, and then this can push this second, and then this can push the fence posts third. And the same thing down on bottom. So in order for that to work, we need this to be first, second, and third. And down on the bottom, see if I can get a cutaway. On the bottom, it needs to be the exact opposite. So this is going to be first, second, and third. Okay? So, first, second, third. 1, 2, 3. So this, you just simply set it down because that's defaulted on 1. This, you set it down and click it once. That'll change it to 2. This, you set it down and click it twice. That'll change it to 3. And then we come over here, and to retract them, it's the same thing, but backwards. So, because you can't move a piston when it's extended, you have to unextend it first. So, since the top row was first, middle was second, and the bottom was third, the bottom's going to be first. So we have 3, bump this up to 4, and add a 5th. Then you have this one, which is going to be the second one. So, once again, that's at 4, and then this one's going to be at 3, because that's at 1. Now, I don't know why, but whenever you're withdrawing a piston, it takes 2 instead of 1. So over here we go 1, 2, 3, but over here we go 5, 7, and 9. Okay? Now, this right here, this is going to send the signal back in for something I'll talk about a little bit later. For right now, you don't need to worry about it. Just know that it's here. And all of these repeaters are set at max. Down here, we have the same thing going on. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay? That's when it's extending. So it pushes from down to up. And then when it's withdrawing, it's going to withdraw from up to down. So we had 3 right there, so this is going to be 5. Oh yeah, there was a glitch when I was working with this and testing it. This one actually needs to be 6. So it goes from 3 to 6. And then from 6 it goes on to, that's 9. So 6 to 9. And then from 9 to either 11 or 12. It doesn't really matter. This one's set at 11. I think that was because there was a bug when I was working it out. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with the time you have 1, 2, 3, and then 6, 9, and 11. Okay? And then once again, we have this over here that's sending the signal back in. We'll talk about that in just a second. All you need to know is that it's doing this job right now. That's the basics. And this control post, you can put this wherever you want to. It doesn't have to be like this. You could put it in a wall. You could wire it however you want to. But whenever you're doing something like this, the signal's not going to connect if it's this right here, because see, it's not actually connecting if there's a block there. So you can simply fix that. I'm sorry, messed it up. You can fix that by replacing this with a repeater, and then it'll work. Now coming back over here, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up real quick, and then I will show you why we do a couple things a certain way. Okay, so all these are wired together. Closed it up a little bit. Be careful when you're closing it up. You do run a chance of messing up your repeaters. So just be careful about that. And then what's actually happening here is we're grabbing signal from this, and then we're making sure that this is 4, 8, 16, 20 ticks. Actually 4, 8, 12, 16. We're making sure it's 16 ticks after the last one that ticks. And then same thing down here. This is just the signal that I'm taking in from the surface. That's not really important. This right here, once again, 1, 2, 3, and then you have your 1, your 4, your 8, your 12, your 16. So this right here, I could replace this by simply going this right here. I just don't want it to connect like that. I want it to connect just like this. And yeah, you could have it longer. It doesn't really matter. I'm just having it short. One very, very important thing to keep in mind, though. If you don't have this block here, this piece of redstone will mess with this wire. And that's not what you want. You want it to be independent. So this will literally catch the signal here and run it over here. It won't affect anything. It's just going to hold on to the signal for almost an entire second longer. And what that's going to work out to be... Actually, let me disable... engine menu's in here. Let me disable this real quick. Oh, by the way, all these repeaters that we're putting in, they're all on the first tick. See, we have these. Let me show you why we're sending that signal back in. Oh, what happened here? Well, let's go take a look. Very bad at flying, sorry. Well, these pulled down okay. Oh, I see. So when that retracted, it got pulled down by this, and then this got pulled down by this. But this didn't pull that down at the same time that this pulled this down. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to send another signal in over here. Let's see if that fixes it. Yeah, it did. We're all good up here? Yep, we're all good right here. So let's reconnect this. And what this will do is it'll grab the signal from here and send it through just long of a delay that you don't have to do that manually. It'll do it all for you. Let's try that again. See? There we go. Now on top, let's check and see why this one's here. And yeah, I'll blast a hole through this real quick. I don't care, I'll fix it in a little bit. Okay, all nice and neat. No, I don't feel like running down. Let's just close it from here. Okay. Up, we have the same thing going on up here as we did down there. This one's retracting, so it's going from... Actually, let's keep it in the on position so you can really see this. Okay. It's going from the on position, where it's here, and extended down here. This is first coming up, and then this is pulling this up to here. Okay? And then this is pulling this on up. But when that pulls this up, this one's still here. So let's turn that off. See? Now what we need to do is we need this row right here to pulse one more time. Did you see that? So that's why we have that going on there. That way, when it clicks, it does everything for us. See if I can't get a good view of it. See? Now if it hadn't grabbed it, there would be a block right there in the way. And just to show you that I'm not crazy and that there would be, see? There's a block there. So by putting this here, it prevents any type of bugs and snags, and it resets it perfectly for us. That way, it's only one button press, and it will never get stuck, and it'll never jam, and you have a nice working gate. And have any questions, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Until then, I will see you later.